So I'm online and I'm watching JD Delay, and he's talking about his experiences being swatted, and he's explaining what swatting is. So swatting is someone calling the cops or other forms of American American sometimes they bring in more tougher big guns. I wouldn't call them agencies, but they still use firearms on you if you, and they think that you are assaulting them. So people find out where you live, and they make a call pretending to be you and setting up a reason to have cops go into your area of residency. And we'll call them detectives, active detectives with use of firearms for that warranted time and place. And so he's explaining about the most recent one where this person called a veteran and told him, left a message telling him that he is JD and he's going to kill himself. He's going to off himself, and that basically he as a veteran is a disgrace. And so he's being told this by the detectives that found his location, and he's like, well, they kind of knew this wasn't the first time that sort of thing happened, so these are the details that I received for this time, and that pissed me off so much that this time I am choosing to press charges to anyone who is found to have made that call. And so that reminded me of the time that I got this call, this scam call, but I wouldn't call it a scam call because it was terrifying, and I don't know if it was like a sort of it's like a real gang tag, because I got a call saying we are in Texas, and we just found your white Ford at this location in Texas, and there are blood stains, and we have your license plate number, which gives us your information, and you need to send us this information and this money and then I hung up because I got terrified, because that was right after right after my internship in Texas, in the Houston, from Houston to Galveston Island, in all that stretch of Texas, and I had left my white Ford there to be sold because I had to make it to my graduation back in Idaho. And I received that call like right after, and sorry, not right after my university graduation, but like at that time I was working at a kids' high school. I was working at a kids' high school, and I received that call 1 year of fully working at that high school, and then just randomly, right after school had officially ended, and I'm picking up this call. I'm like, oh, I never pick up calls with foreign numbers, but I'm like, I'm an adult. I'm gonna adult today and choose this moment to pick up a number that is not Idaho. So I pick it up, and there's this person, and it's not an automated message. It's not a robotic message. It's an actual person making this call, and I'm like reacting emotionally to it because I'm like, they said white Ford. That has been my longest family car since I was like 6 years old or 7 years old. So for that to happen, and then for them to say that they kept the license plate number and that they wanted to keep it, and they knew where I was from. Obviously, they found the Idaho code, or maybe they just like really just randomly picked a number. They were just like, oh, well, how many white Fords are sold across America? And we'll pick this number to contact this owner. Or, well, at that time I should have been, or my family's title should have been taken off, because by that time it had been in selling premises with a person down in Texas. So so I was still like, oh my god, okay, so did they steal the car, or did that person, that sister of the people I was staying at, did someone steal it and then take it for a murder? Like, they took it to a murder scene to get a job done, and then, like, I'm panicking because I don't actually know the officiation to the name changes in the title and the registration. I was just told that those things were in process, and obviously, like, I'm like, oh, well, she's been driving it around, and, you know, like, you have to have your own insurance to be able to drive and stuff, you know, me taking the maturity route. And so So I'm still freaking out because, like I said, they included the license plate. Um, uh, they didn't include the number, or maybe they included the number, but I couldn't remember what the number was. So I was still freaking out. And then they were including the car type and model and color, and then they sent me a picture of I think it was a picture or a description of gray seats with bloodstains. So all I did was hang up and then pretend it didn't happen. I didn't even contact my parents about it because I'm like, this is obviously a scam, and there's no way or reason for such a vast move from all the way down in Texas to go all the way up to Idaho to go and search for money and all this stuff. But then I was freaking out because Boise, connected to Twin Falls and Jerome, are big cocaine and meth and weed. The drugs, you know, it's practically a small underground line, like a small white version of a cartel. And so then I'm like, what if they have people that are working from Texas to Idaho? So, you know, them like, oh, we'll find the time. So anyways, yeah, that's my short snippet freak out experience back in 2019, like the first month of September. Yeah, it was weird, it was awkward, and yeah, so oh, and I believe that I thought that about the white Ford, it's still being under some form of registry to my family, because we were being forgiving and giving that sister of the person who sold the car to that sister or sister's friend a forgiveness time period to make smaller payments, which is, you know, really nice and all. But then, you know, my family only got $1,000, while that family, which is my ex, well, my ex husband in marriage, which is still in process because, you know, friends wouldn't necessarily, or ex-friends wouldn't necessarily help me go find him and to give approved government paperwork or court paperwork to him for divorce. And yeah, so thanks Heather, thanks Nita. They knew all the abuse he put me through, and they were like, no, I have a busy day, and, you know, it's just very stressful to have a friend that doesn't have a home and doesn't have money, resources, and needs help with car rides, which I didn't really ask. Just, hey, don't necessarily have that freak out moment where you hate me because of your own personal relationship stuff, and then you leave me out in the streets where I can be assaulted by a cop again, or, you know, like, have some random person out in the streets get triggered and then assault me. And, but, you know, like, that's what happened. And, yeah, so that family side, helped me accept an internship down in Texas and find a place to stay. So they helped me by having one of their family members provide a free place for me to stay for 2 months. And in those 2 months, you know, I have my own car, I have a little bit of money, and I'm not asking for food, I'm not taking their food, any of that stuff. But, you know, they were like, oh, well, you didn't necessarily pay. Well, you didn't pay for 2 months, so now you want us to help you sell it, like, ask around, and, see if someone wants the car, and plus, like, your car had to stay here, so we're gonna charge you $2,000. So they were like, oh, this person wants it, so, you know, if you want some money, like, you could ask for a little more, like 1,000 more, but, you know, we're asking for 2. So my family was told that they were tagging on their own price tag. So anyways, you know, like my family was like, you know, it's down in Texas, and they obviously probably already know that it's a lot to drive back and get the car and or find ourselves someone to sell it to. And so, you know, they already know that it's pretty easy money to say, hey, we are going to keep this much. And so, yes, yeah, it is a business white father and his business Asian wife, Thai wife. Can't be Korean, or could be. But anyways, so yeah, things are crazy. And and obviously unfair because of that car getting sold like that, and unfair to me because it seriously freaked me out so much. I'm like, holy crap. Like, seriously, like, these people found my stuff and are easily able to find my place of whereabouts. And, you know, them already being like, not only are we bringing in the law enforcement, but me, you know, with all those pictures and stuff, I'm like, what if they are the killers? So yeah, anyways, that was a real experience, just as much as JD Delay experiencing that SWAT. Anyways, if you want to hear the story once it's on YouTube, press that closed caption option. Sorry, I'm a little tired. I still have to record one last video in Sign, so I'm just have a good morning to any of you super early rock stars, because I met this teacher who woke up every day at 3 in the morning to go to the gym so that he was prepped and ready with his life sustenance for PE. I think he's still a high school physical education teacher, just not in the same school. Anyways, so yeah, for notice of you early birds, or to anyone who is up late for various adult reasons and are finally going to bed. Anyways, I'm gonna go.